What's up, everybody? Today, on the other side with Mike G, we sit down with a man who earned his nickname the Rockstar the hard way. First as a Marine Corps infantryman, then as a veteran of 33 MMA fights, and finally by winning the BKFC world title. He is a soldier, a coach, a fighter, and an inspiration. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Rockstar Keith Richardson. How's it going, Keith?
Good. How's it going, brother?
Very, very good. Man, I am nervous, but I'm going to do my best. Talk to me a little bit about growing up. What was that like? What was the family dynamic, and how did it shape the person you are today?
Yeah, it's kind of it's kind of crazy. Like I had a very normal, wholesome like upbringing. Like I didn't have a a ton of family trauma or anything like that. Growing up, I grew up in Long Island, New York. So I moved down south when I was like 15. Just me, both my parents, my brother. I have one older brother. My parents were, married the whole time.
Good childhood.
It was it was very, very good childhood. It's one of those weird things because especially the way that my life goes, I have such a emphasis on a family atmosphere, in the gym and my Marine Corps brotherhood, almost to most people think I had a messed up family by blood, but now it's just having such a great family, I was able to see what that structure can do, and I tried to give it to other people that might not have strong blood ties, but I've always been big on the family you choose can just be just as important as the family you're born into.
Absolutely, I definitely agree with that.
Lots of sports growing up too. I was a big hockey player. That was my first passion.
Okay.
And then football, stuff like that. But really, when I found wrestling, that kind of was when I really started locking in on a sport where I had the physical gifts for it, and I also excelled at it, and I had a real desire to do it.
Okay. If we played your favorite mixtape, and yes, I'm in my 40s as well. I remember mixtapes. I know you remember mixtapes. What three songs on that mixtape would explain your childhood?
Ooh, that's a
You remember recording your favorite songs off the radio?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
And making mix CDs and stuff like that. But yeah, it started out with mixtapes. So I definitely got to put I definitely have to put Winter Wars by Wu-Tang on there.
Okay.
Even in my gym logo and stuff like that, especially growing up in Long Island, Wu-Tang was a big part of the life out there. They were such a an inspirational music group. I remember buying bootleg Wu wear jeans and stuff like that.
Now you can buy them at Walmart. That's crazy.
It's so that's definitely got to be on there.
Okay. Don't Lie is Pour Some Sugar on Me by Def Leppard on there.
Not growing up, because I always attribute that to a strip club song.
The greatest ever.
Not
that I've ever gone.
Later in my Marine days, where I was listening to that quite frequently. I'd have to go. With Green Day.
Yes.
Welcome to Paradise. That is the song I'm thinking of, right?
Yeah. Welcome to Paradise.
Yeah. That was it was one of it was just a pivotal song at the time. Plus, it started expanding my especially growing up, I was, big into hip hop and stuff like that. And that started like expanding my like musical taste into other genres and stuff like that. And third one, I have to go with yeah, I'm gonna have to go with my name is Eminem.
There we go.
I jumped on that bandwagon. As a matter of fact, the first time I heard it was on, like somebody's like mixed CD or something like that, and he was like, "Yeah, this like got this upcoming thing, like this guy that's upcoming and stuff like that." Like he wasn't even really big, like he wasn't really even big yet. And I just remember like listening to that, and I was like, "Oh man, like this guy's something different."
Yeah. All right. Going back as far as you can in your mind, what's the earliest memory you have of combat sports? And did you immediately think to yourself, "Man, I want to do this"? Was it Karate Kid? Was it the local gym?
When I was like, I was always into like, the big action star, like action stars growing up. Jean-Claude Van Damme was always my dude when it came to the action guys. Like, me and my dad would always be watching the movies. As a matter of fact, I actually got to meet him.
Oh wow!
When I was at Araya Faber's house when I was training with Team Alpha Male, and I was like, because I've met like some famous dudes and some famous fighters and stuff like that, but that was the first time I'd ever been kind of like
starstruck
and in awe. Yeah, so that was always big. But even like when we were kids, like I remember, like me and my brother had gotten a pair of like boxing gloves, and like we had to be like 4 or 5, and we were just beating the crap out of each other in the front yard. But even way before that, my mom, my grandma always told the story about when I was born. Like as soon as I came out, like I was just clenching my fist and I had my hands up, and she just looked at me and she goes like, "He's gonna be a little buster when he grows up."
That's awesome.
Lo and behold, she was 100% right.
Grandmas are the best. All right. First, thank you so much for your service, man. I'm not just saying that. I do mean that. Almost every man going back generations in my family has served. I tried in my early 20s. An injury and a record prevented that. So thank you very much for yours. I really do appreciate that. Secondly, when did you know you wanted to be a Marine? And how was that process early on, the going to the recruiter, the having to run around wherever 1,000 times to make sure you're fit enough? How did that play out?
Yeah, it was kind of a little bit crazy. When growing up in New York, it was like post 9/11, and that kind of was really important to me, and I kind of felt like my home had been attacked, like growing up in New York. It was kind of weird, like, because initially I was going to go to school on a wrestling scholarship. My brother actually was already in the Marine Corps at the time. I visited him a couple of times, spent some time on base, and I was I was kind of intrigued about the lifestyle and stuff like that, and especially I was wrestling, so I was used to kind of a Spartan type existence. So it definitely intrigued me. I was close to the recruiter that was working our school. He's like, I don't really want to recruit you. I was like, he's like, you've got this wrestling thing going on. I think it'll be a good thing for you.
That's an honest recruiter.
Yeah. And then I actually down and you just especially because he was a history buff. I like history myself, so we just every now and then he'd pull me out of class and we'll just BS about history and stuff. And I just decided one day I didn't really want to. I didn't want to go to college at the time. I wanted to, go to the Marine Corps. So I just came up to him. It was after my graduation, I saw him I saw him. I came up to him. I was like, "Yeah, we need to talk." So I ended up like turning down my wrestling scholarship and go. It was kind of crazy, like because while I was in what's called DEP, like delayed entry program and stuff like that, where you're doing like they're just making sure that you're good to go, like physically and stuff like that. We were so we were doing some training, and like me and the recruiter did some extra laps and stuff like that. Went back to the recruiting office, talked for a little bit, and then I left. He actually died of a heart attack after that.
Oh my God! You just gave me goosebumps, Keith.
Yeah, right before right before I was getting ready to leave for boot. So I had to it was so especially early on in my Marine Corps career, that was kind of motivation to one, at least get my ass through boot camp. But yeah, that was
man. Did you feel any extra motivation to kind of make him proud in a way, or to do something in memory of him?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially while you're struggling through boot camp, like I always say, boot camp's the hardest thing that you'll ever do in your life, but it's the easiest thing you'll ever do in the Marine Corps.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Finish this sentence for me. The Marine Corps taught me to blank.
Survive.
There we go.
It taught me that, that's of how much I can truly go through, how capable I can be. It taught me how to lead. And, it taught me that, as fucked up as it sounds, combat can be fun.
Sure. Yeah, I get that. How did active duty rewrite your definition of fear?
I'm
sure it's different before military service than after.
Absolutely. It didn't, I think before that, before that, it was a lot of false bravado and stuff like that, especially before combat and stuff.
Sure.
And then I realized that fear is not a bad thing. You're supposed to be scared. It's scary situations. I always told my guys, I was I don't want fearless Marines. Fearless. If you're fearless in those situations, that means you don't care about your life. If you don't care about your life, I can't expect you to care about the guy to the left and the right of you. I want scared Marines that do the right fucking thing. So that was one of the biggest lessons that I got from that.
Okay. Last month or a few weeks ago when we initially spoke, I shared with you that I ask a particular question of everyone who comes on the show, and it can be whatever you're comfortable with. But you brought up something then that I think a huge portion of the population struggles with every day. In whatever way is most comfortable for you, can you talk about the struggle that you deal with on a daily basis as a result of active duty?
One of the things that one of the realizations I had to come to was PTSD is it's a terminal illness. To some degree you're going to have it to the rest of your life. You can look at the guys that were in Vietnam and see that it's more about managing your triggers, managing what can set you off. Finding good outlets. When I got out, I actually extended to finish my last tour with my guys. So as soon as I got out, I was into the civilian world and not adjusting very well. So I had to find good outlets for that that warrior energy, that warrior spirit. As soon as I found MMA, it became my therapy. I've always been a big believer. You got to find these positive outlets, things that challenge you. You need to find that same level of camaraderie and brotherhood. Like, you sweat
Right.
together, you bleed together. Like, you're going to form tight bonds. That's another thing that a lot of guys miss when they get out. But even to this day, like I know things that can possibly give me set me off, or I'll find troubling for a little while. So avoid them when you can, and realize and push through them when you can't.
Right. I had in 8th grade, so this would have been early mid 90s. I had a teacher in junior high school named Mr. Burden, and he had been in Vietnam. And of course, back then, nobody talked about PSD. I don't know a ton about it, so I don't even know if it was something that they diagnosed people with back then. But I remember, and you can tell me if you encountered people who either think it's not the most serious thing. I have anxiety, and I have people around me that are like, just get over it. That's not real. You're just being a sissy, that kind of thing. Mr. Burden, kids in class, this was my first introduction to PTSD. He told everybody on the first day of school, I have this thing. So if I ever act weird when there's loud noises, don't think anything weird. Kids would take their school books and drop them flat so that they would hit the floor like that. It would make a loud bang, and Mr. Burden would hit the deck and cover up. And so I can't imagine, some conditions you can kind of expect or feel coming on. I can't imagine having a condition that just in a moment something can trigger it that causes whatever it is that goes through your mind. So I can definitely relate to that from an anxiety standpoint. I can relate to it from an addiction standpoint. I can't imagine PTSD. It affects so many.
Yeah. And myself, usually not I don't mind. I can deal with explosives and stuff like that. Freaking, especially if I'm the one doing them.
Right. If you're in control of it.
I always get a little bothered. When fireworks
Okay. Yeah.
shoot, when I'm driving.
Mm-hmm.
Also freaking trash in the middle of the road. Yeah. That's always a IED, and I've been blown up a lot. Fucking so I still freaking swerve freaking out of the way. But at the same time, it's there's serious things, but you also have to have a sense of humor about it and stuff like that.
Sure.
Remember one of my buddies was crashing in my guest room. And I hadn't really had I used to have some night terrors. Hadn't really had a problem with that for a long time. But I think I'd taken melatonin or something like that. So sometimes it would give you vivid dreams.
Yeah.
I woke up and I was realized I was screaming. And then the next day, I told him, I was oh, I'm sorry. If I woke you up last night, apparently I woke up screaming or something like that. He's like, I was about to apologize to you because I did the same thing. Apparently, we were screaming at each other back and forth, from room to room. Get down! They're coming! It just triggered the shit out of each other.
Is there any chance you have cameras and microphones set up? Do you have that recorded?
No, I wish we did. I wish we did. Freaking.
Oh wow! So yeah, you can look back and laugh.
You gotta have a sense of humor about life. Even serious stuff can be funny. It's I can't tell you how many times I've laughed at a funeral.
Right. This has nothing to do with your interview, but it has to do with crazy things that happen when we sleep. Have you ever had sleep paralysis?
Yes.
That's the most terrifying thing in the world. It happened to me a few months ago for the first time. I thought I was dead.
Although. See, for me, the sleep paralysis isn't as bad as when I first got out. I felt really bad for the first girl I dated because I'd wake up fucking swinging. So she started so she started just when it was time for me to wake up, just poking me and running out of the room. That poor girl.
You got to get cameras in your house, man. You've got money on this film, I'm telling you. All right. how did you get into MMA? I know you said early on in life, you were a fan of combat sports, but there had to be a particular moment where MMA went from being something you watched or enjoyed to something you did.
Yeah, with my wrestling background, I always knew I'd take good to it. Actually, we had in like the officer staff NCO Hooch, they had a TV set up, and they were actually like able to get the what is it, the Armed Forces Network or something like that, and I had some of the stuff from Spike TV, and they had like towards the end of my last deployment, they had the Ultimate Fighter on there, and like my platoon commander would take, or my section commander would used to let me in there to watch the show. He knew I was a high level wrestler and stuff like that. So I got to see, I got to watch a little bit of the first season of The Ultimate Fighter while I was in there. And then when I got out, I remember watching the season finale. And it was the Forrest Griffin Stephen Bonner fight, and I was like, this is insane. I need to do this.
Everybody.
Found a jiu-jitsu gym. Started training. Went there the first day, got my ass kicked. I was because I thought I'm like a state champ wrestler. Nope.
You'll be fine.
But fell in love with it. I was like, all right, I got to figure out what's going on. So so that I can be that guy.
Right.
And then once I started training, never stopped. It was the first thing that I found, because like I said earlier, if everybody comes back all right, nobody's hurt. Firefights are addicting. That it's insane rush. Sometimes you never feel closer, more alive than when you were closer to death. And it's MMA, and especially bare knuckle, it's the closest thing you can get to that, especially because it's such the adrenaline is pumping so high, you get that your brain can't even process it all at once. That's why war movies and stuff like that come back in flashback, because there's so much input. It takes your brain, once everything slows down to catch up, and then you start remembering everything in flashback.
Sorting it out.
That happened. I did this. That happened. Same thing in crazy MMA fights and stuff like that.
Okay. I wanted to ask, do you remember the most difficult part of your pro debut against Dustin Bedford? Because you made it look easy.
Probably the most difficult part of that whole of that one was when it was there weren't too many. It was just me and my best friend Tater that could go down there. And it was kind of funny, when they play the. I came out to a metal version of Bringing Sexy Back. I'm fighting a hometown guy. They're already gonna hate me, and now I'm coming out to a metal version. I'm Bringing Sexy Back. And it's funny because my best friend was he's 350 pounds, 6'5", he's just a massive human being. I'm storming out there, I'm ready to go, and it almost and it's just me and him, and it almost looks like he's chasing me to the cage just because he's trying to catch up. And he's just I'm not a huge guy, but he's coming, he's running behind me. He always wanted to bring me out to the cage in a harness, mini me.
That would have been amazing.
I'm not letting somebody carry me to the cage like that.
No. That's hilarious. Fast forward a little bit.
Then there was a big brawl after the after the fight. Like, you know, the fight I think it was like about a minute and 10.
Yeah.
But there were a bunch of because there were a couple of North Carolina guys on the card.
Okay.
We went out to the after party, and it just things got a little crazy. All because one of my buddies took a cowboy hat off a man's head.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yep.
Let's see here. Moving on to October 23rd, I believe, 2021, you take on former world champion Daniel Strauss in Miami, Florida. Walk the viewers through that fight and the finishing sequence.
That was definitely one of my biggest fights, you know, to date, you know, against former Bellator world champ. Like it was kind of surreal a little bit, like, you know, just because, you know, everything was working. Like I couldn't, like I at one point I kind of like thought that, like, you know, because, like, you know, my striking was on point, and I was just like my MMA grappling, you know, like every time he tried to move, he just like, it was almost like, you know, I was quicksand. Like every time he tried to move, he just sank deeper into worse and worse positions. Yeah. And like, even like after the first round, I was just I was kind of like, all right, like, is he kind of rope-a-doping it or something like that? But like, yeah, I had my corners just like kept me calm, like doing great. Like he's literally like, do that again. Like I've got no adjustments to make.
That's awesome.
Like then, like, you know, in the second round, like because like, yeah, there were a couple of times where it was close to getting stopped. I know at one point I had a gift wrap. I was raining down some elbows. I had full mount. Yeah, in the second round came out even hotter. Threw a nice big head kick that landed, opened him up. Got another takedown, got on top, and you know, went full mount. And for some reason, he was trying to punch from the bottom, which is you're never going to win a fist fight off your back for the most part.
Yeah.
The only person I've seen do it is like Kevin Holland.
There we go.
Against
Boss Rutten won the UFC belt early on off his back, punching Kevin Randleman.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
But,
okay.
It's rare though. But
yeah, definitely.
Ref stepped
Never
in.
happens anymore.
Yep, ref stepped in, got the finish in about a minute and a half in the second round.
That's awesome, dude. Your last MMA bout came in 2022. Is that right?
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Okay.
Against, Hunter Azure.
Yeah. Why did you stop doing MMA? Was it just because you wanted to do BKFC, or is it just time?
No, like I love MMA. Like, you know, it's still my it's still one of my biggest passions. I just got really frustrated with the business side of it. Like I wasn't getting any of the opportunities that I felt like I deserved. Like, you know, right after I beat Hunter Azure, he was the #1 pick on the Ultimate Fighter. Like, you know, he was still signed for and then the UFC came to Charlotte. And, you know, I've been like one of the main events for almost every fight in Charlotte outside of like the UFC. Like, for them not to put me on the card, like, you know, it was just like I'd gotten signed by the PFL at one point, and then the guy I was supposed to fight refused to fight me, and then they never like re-signed me. Like they paid, like, you know, they wanted paying me to be an alternate, and then the next season they never signed me. So, like, you know, I was getting, like, you know, I wasn't getting any of these opportunities. I know that, UFC felt like I was too old, I think. Probably, like, you know, and they probably thought I was on something, you know, to be beating the crap out of everybody, like, this late in my career. But, yeah, I would have had to go through USADA testing. Like, I've never touched banned supplement my entire life. So like it just got frustrating. Like, and I wasn't getting these opportunities. I knew if within a few fights, with my credentials, I can be a star in the BKFC. Like, the first one, I wanted to give it a try out, see if it was a fit. Like, but I just was tired of not getting
right.
I should have been fighting for, like, I've most of my career I was always known as one of the best fighters, like, not in the UFC.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. How did you catch the bare knuckle bug?
It was probably when I first started coaching Taylor. She was in she made her debut in Knuckle Mania on Paige Van Zant's card. I was kind of like, I'd been asked to fight for them before, but I've seen like a little bit of the events and stuff like that, but like I didn't really have a good concept of really what the product was that they were producing. When I saw like the level of production they were doing, the talent that they had on the card, all the like a lot of the people that work for the organization and stuff like that, I was like, you know what, this can definitely work. I think maybe like 2 or 3 MMA fights after that, but like I'd already had talks. I was already in talks with getting something for them, and then I got the Strauss fight. But that was definitely the turning point. Like I saw, especially how Taylor blew up off of her first fight.
Yeah, I was able to actually met Taylor, BKFC Texas, a couple months ago. I ran into Scott Farley, and he said, "Who do you want to meet?" And I was like, "Taylor," but she's got like 10 people talking to her right now. He grabbed me by the sleeve, walked me over, walked right in between everyone, interrupted the whole thing, and introduced me to her. I was able to get a picture, and I talked to her a little bit. She's supposed to come on the show at some point. Awesome lady, awesome.
Yeah.
All right. First time you toed the line was against UFC vet Justin Scoggins. As you are standing there waiting to hear Knuckle Up, what's going through your mind?
A lot of emotions, especially like during that time. But I still think I had the same thought that I've had like almost at the before like every fight like that I've been in. Like I just when I'm warming up, like right before they call me out, I'm sitting there bouncing around. And I have the same thought every time. I'm like, this is the dumbest fucking way to make a living I could possibly think of. Like, I'm about to fight another grown man in my underwear, freaking for a paycheck. Like, and then you come out there, you start you do the announcing and stuff like that, and then you toe the line, and like right before it's like, all right, let's go. Let's see how this one goes.
I can't imagine what that moment feels like. I think I could handle walking in. I think I could handle walking up to the line, but I'm not going to lie. I don't care who's over there. I am not a fighter. I'm going to turn around and walk right back out as soon as I can, dude. Wow, that's the mentality that you have. I mean, I talk to all kinds of people, but soldier, coach, fighter, you are one of the most mentally strong people I've ever talked to. Is that something that's just natural for you, or is that something that upbringing, military? Where does that mental toughness come from?
Big part of it comes from my dad. He was like best man I've ever known. He never complained. Was one of the hardest workers I've ever seen. He was just he was just a workhorse.
Old school man.
Yeah, just old school. But he actually, like had enough news going, like, you know, like wasn't afraid to, like, you know, was like wasn't afraid, like, you know, he would tell me that he loved me and stuff like that, like,
Okay.
you know, like, so like he didn't have some of the old school weaknesses, like, you know, being like not being able to express your emotions to your family,
Sure.
like, you know, like, so like, you know, like
Could build you up after tearing you
yeah,
down.
like, you know, he wouldn't, like, yeah, like, you know, he didn't have like any problems, like, you know, saying, like, you know, he's like, you know, like didn't say well, like, wasn't overly like freaking, like, you know, overly emotional, like, you know, like, you know, it's
Hmm.
like, because, like, you know, he'd never complain himself or anything like that, like, so it was just like that was a big part of it, and then just um and just consistent, like, just kind of like kind of become a lifestyle, like, you know,
Hmm.
like, especially with a lot of this, like, sports I did, like, you know, hockey, football, wrestling, you know, it taught me delayed gratification, you know, also, like, you know, change can be painful, but
Hmm.
it's also going to be progress.
Yeah.
um you know, and it just, I don't know where this stupid side of me comes from, like, you know, like, too dumb to too dumb to quit sometimes, but it's uh, it's definitely definitely been there for a long time, I think.
Okay. Uh, what did that debut win in the BKFC symbolize to you personally?
um you
Was
know, it
there
was,
any? Am I cut out for this going into that fight? Were you 100% sure that this is where you were going and you were going to be successful?
honestly, I didn't have any idea really, like, you know, like, what, like, I did have a loose plan, like, you know, like I said, like, I knew if I knew I could probably, like, you know, become a star, like, you know, potentially, like, you know, put myself in the title picture pretty quickly.
Hmm.
But, you know, other than that, like, especially the first one was kind of a trial period. Um, and it was actually the perfect thing for me at the time. You know, I lost my father like a week and a half before I made my debut. So it was just like the raw aggression of it, like, allowed me to kind of fight through a lot of those emotions that I was having. You
Sure.
know, it kept me focused, because I'd go to the gym and then I'd come back. You know, especially once he was in, like, hospice care, like, you know, because once we found out he had cancer, it moved about a month and a half, if even.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, and, like, you know, so like, I'd go from the gym to my parents' house. I'd spend the night there. Then my brother would take, like, you know, would take the day shift, and I'd just be going back and forth. Like, so, kind of kept me focused. But and it just hardened me even more. And then, like, the fight itself was insane.
Hmm.
But like, and that was the perfect fight for me, because I just needed to, like, let everything go.
Yeah.
And then I just remember, like, you know, me and Scoggins, like, just bawling in the back, like, you know, I was like a bitch with a skin knee, like, yeah, I was, uh, but it was just like, it was very cathartic in that way.
Hmm.
Um, you know, once it happened, like, you know, I was like, all right, well, there's definitely something to this. Like, you know, I feel this. Felt it for a couple of months. Like, you know, I still
Hmm.
got some of the scars from that one. But I was there was definitely something to it, and there was something that, like, you know, spoke to me on a primal level, and
Right.
I was I was, you know, a little hooked on it.
Yeah, it seems like I haven't talked to one guy from who's done bare knuckle that said, you know what, after that first one, I just didn't really care for it. There's guys I've talked to
Luke
that I
Rockhold.
think thought that, but never admitted to it.
Luke Rockhold.
There you go. I'll probably
Yeah.
never interview Luke. Sorry, Luke, but yeah. Yeah.
Apparently him and Feldman were getting into it the other day.
People are saying they should fight. Like Feldman used to box. So what, man? It's turning. It kind of reminds me of the way Dana White and Tito Ortiz back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much. It worked good for the UFC. All right. The next fight I want to talk about is your matchup with Derek Perez at BKFC 48. Walk the viewers through that 37-second night in the office.
Yeah, like it was
Derek's
it was
tough.
actually something that we had noted, we'd kind of worked a little bit on when we were at the Airbnb in Albuquerque. We noticed kind of that he had leaned that way. He was a long southpaw, but we kind of noticed that he leaned that way. We figured that a little switch into it might throw him off, get him to overextend. Plus, he would lean into the punch a little bit, and that was pretty much it. I threw two punches that fight, but he tried to especially because he'd come in just jab heavy to just keep your hand occupied. So I pulled the switch, threw the hook, and I think I threw a two that didn't really even matter.
Yeah, you saw his tail going into that. You knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, we were prepared for a long fight. He's a tough dude. He's been through some wars himself. But I know if I land clean, it can be a very short night.
Yeah. BKFC 52, you earned the chance to fight Reggie Barnett Jr. for the BKFC bantamweight title. What were your thoughts on Reggie as an opponent going into that fight, and what was the game plan?
He was he'd been in the organization since the first or the second one. He had a lot of experience, very good traditional boxer. Another, I think pretty much almost everybody that I fought has been a southpaw, except Scoggins. Scoggins switches as much as I do. But I knew that I tend to do well with more traditional boxers, just with my switch stance style, my pressure and my power. I knew Reggie was more of a kind of point style fighter, but like I said, he's very, very experienced, very crafty, a veteran of the game. But I knew with all the momentum I was riding, I dedicated that year, to my dad. I knew I wasn't going to get me stopped. And I knew as soon as all I had to do was land clean on him a couple of times, and he would start, he'd start wanting to figure out a different
career path,
something else to do for the rest of his night.
Exactly. Okay. When you're in that fight, this is a question I've never asked anyone before. When you're in a world title fight and the seconds are passing by and you're fighting, does it feel any different than a non-title fight? Is the pressure of this is for the belt in your mind as the fight's happening?
It kind of it's kind of in there, the whole time, because it's especially once you're when things are going good, you just kind of want to, you just starting a ticking clock, all right, okay, how much longer is this going? For me, it was also very important, for me to not, especially after I got the first knockdown, not over pursue, not get over aggressive looking for the finish. I remember, because I just immediately thought about the Scoggins fight. As soon as I got the knockdown, rushed in, and then got dropped myself.
Right.
So I was like, I just remember I was like, thinking to myself, I'm like, all right, calm down. You got one. You can get another one just as easy. Relax. And you can literally see, like, after the first one, like, I just, like, I just start, like, just don't rush in. I just, like, wait and move. And then, like, the next one came 1 second into the second round.
Mm-hmm. All right. What's the first conscious thought that you can remember that went through your mind when the bell rang and you knew you were the champ?
You can literally see like as soon as it's over, like I'm screaming, and then like my eyes just start like looking up, like because my dad had been like all my wrestling matches, all my like almost all my fights, but he didn't get to watch any of this, like just looking around and like just like he should be here for this.
That
Like I
made
know,
me cry, dude.
but like I'm like, he deserved this moment. If not, like he deserved this moment more than I did.
That's awesome.
So it was just like I always get like, even when I like, if I rewatch that fight, like after it's over, I gotta like, a lot of times I gotta like just shut it off because I know who I'm looking for.
Yeah, man, give me goosebumps, man. That's emotional stuff. I love it. In what ways did life change after winning the belt? More people calling you out, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, like more like
Suddenly everybody wants to fight.
Yeah, you get freaking people in the UK and Poland and like calling you a bitch. Like I'm just like, all right, like yeah, I won the world title because I'm a bitch. Like really, like the biggest thing for me was the inactivity.
There we go.
I had 4 fights in 10 months, and then I had to wait over 9 to get another fight.
There goes that momentum.
Yeah, like I like being active. Like couldn't get anybody to sign for it, and then like at the time, like I didn't even really know like too much about Bloss until I was doing promo work, and he tried to get in my face. So like that was one of the biggest things. Like it's a great feeling, like especially you walking around with that belt on your shoulder, like knowing everything that you went through to get it.
Mm-hmm.
It's automatic respect, automatic attention, especially if you were doing promo work and and then like you have a 8-hour layover in Vegas. So you and your buddy decide to spend that 8-hour layover in a strip club, and you've got to bring your belt because it's your carry on. It gets a lot of attention. There are definitely perks to it.
Sure. Was Pour Some Sugar on Me playing?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. Unfortunately, you lost the belt to Alberto in 2024. How did you find, I guess, balance in life after a loss like that? I've talked to guys that, they've got a 2-week after loss ritual where all they do is clean, or all they do is play with their dog, or that kind of thing. What is kind of your ritual, I guess you could call it, for after a big loss?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I necessarily have a ritual except for get right back in the gym. I always train the next day after a fight, win, lose, or draw. Even when I've like with broken hands and stuff like that. Like I'm not like half the time I'm not doing very much, but it's important to get that reset and like hard not to fall into a little bit of a depression. Like
Sure.
it's one of those. There's nothing more humbling. There's nothing more just soul crushing than getting your ass kicked on national fucking TV, like, you know, it's not fun. I can tell you. And then then you think you got you think you're getting called a bitch a bunch fucking when you win the world title. Try losing the world title and you punch a ref. Like it's not a fun time.
Sure.
Like, especially, you know, like you don't really you don't want to do anything. You don't want to, especially when you got bruises on your face. Like it's a double-edged sword. Like, you know, if you won your fight, like you almost want like some cuts and bruises.
Sure.
Why?
Yeah.
Because everybody's gonna ask, like, oh, how'd you get that? Like, you know, or oh yeah, you had a fight or something like that. You know, when it doesn't go your way, it's the complete opposite.
Yeah.
But you get the same like question, like, oh yeah, like, oh, what happened? Again, I was like, yeah, you had a fight, like, you know, did you win? Nope. Like, you know, it's rough.
Right.
Especially, like I said, like when it goes viral because, like, you know, you unknowingly gave a 3-piece to the ref. Like, you know, like you've got to have a sense of humor about these things, or you are going to drive yourself crazy. You know, like one of the things that I always tell my guys, I'm like, you're going to make a highlight, and then you're going to make a fucking highlight.
Yeah.
And that's just what this sport is. Yeah, that was definitely a rough one, though, especially, like, you know, it was, you know, it took me 39 years before to win a world title.
But you did it.
Yep. Like, but yeah, it took me less than one round to fucking lose it. Like,
you may not carry it around with you anymore, but you'll never lose it. It's with you forever. It's attached to your name. You are forever world champion.
Yep. It's hanging up at the gym.
There we go.
Yeah. But
even if you'd have never lost at some point, you would have no longer been the world champion.
Yeah, like, you know, it is like I always say it's like the rank of Marine. Yeah, once a Marine, always a Marine. Once a world champ, always a world champ. Like, you know, that's something
absolutely
that take around away from you. But it is, yeah, it is much better to be the current world champ. Yeah, get to walk around with it on. And, like, I miss it, so I'm gonna do it again.
Okay, I was just about to ask what your future goals in the BKFC are.
You know, it's once in future king of the division.
Awesome. What does the word redemption mean to you personally? If you had to open up a dictionary, erase redemption, and rewrite it in your own words, what would it be?
Means to me, I would say it means, you know, correcting a mistake that you made. You know, whether it was, you know, poor performance, poor training, poor, like, anything, poor attitude, like, you know, to get redemption, like, you need to improve upon yourself and make things better. You know, like, that's one of the great things of fucking up. You can learn from it, you can become better from it, and you can achieve redemption. Yeah, it means, like, learning from a mistake.
Okay. Let's talk coaching for a minute. Tell me about Modern Warrior MMA and what it means to you and how it came about.
Modern Warrior is what happens when you let the patients run the asylum. You know, I'm one of the few high-level active coaches that, you know, are still fighting. You know, we have a very, very interesting culture at the gym. Like, you know, we're all just a bunch of idiots. Like, you know, we're very, very close. You know, I try to keep that same mentality that I had in the Marine Corps. That was one of the best parts. We could just like rip on each other, like have a good time, train hard, and just like pursue our goals. It's definitely been a huge joy in my life. I take more joy out of watching my students succeed than I do myself. I'm definitely way more nervous when they get out there, especially because when I'm fighting, I have some control over that.
Mm-hmm.
They're fighting, I'm just screaming shit and hope they listen. And some do better than others.
Are you a super animated coach in the corner, or are you pretty? I mean, not the yelling, but I guess what I'm saying. Have you ever seen Chuck Liddell watch a fight?
Oh yeah.
Is that you, or are you just yelling?
I'm super animated, but I also we have an interesting language.
Okay.
I name things very definitely not politically correct and just very animated. But they get the point across. Like we have one takedown. It's called the mangina, where you kind of staple somebody's leg to the cage, and it makes it look like they're doing the Buffalo Bill PP tuck. I call it the mangina. We'll be screaming it during fights and stuff like that, and people just turn especially because there's a big difference between coaching MMA and coaching jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is a lot more calmer, especially when it comes to the coaching half the time. And especially because it's smaller crowd, there's usually not alcohol being served. And it's just a different temperament. And I didn't even think about it. We've got another. We have another move. It's called force blowjob. Where you grab the top of it's just sliding into high mount. You grab the top of their head and slide your hips up into a posture position. I'm at a jiu-jitsu tournament, and I'm calling some of this stuff out, and I didn't even realize. And all of a sudden, I was force blowjob, and all of a sudden I hear just somebody go, "Did he just yell force blowjob?" I'm just oh god,
oh my god,
I'm gonna get canceled.
That's crazy, man. I love that.
But there's also there is a method behind my madness.
Sure.
If you're in the middle of a fight and you're way amped up and I yell something at you like mangina, sometimes it can bring you back down a little bit, so you because you don't want to be out of control. Sometimes and plus they hear that and they just go and then it calms them down, and they and they start thinking, they get back to thinking instead of raging.
I can imagine the opposite would happen if the opponent heard that and was trying to process that.
When you hear forced blowjob, you want
time to pay attention.
You know what? I'm tapping out.
I'm done. That's so funny.
I came here to fight. I don't know what my opponent came here to do, but match over. I'm out.
Yeah, fight your way out of this.
We got amateurs. I'm not getting paid for this.
Oh, that's hilarious. How do you protect your love of fighting from starting to feel like a job?
Surround yourself with good people. That's without a doubt. And I could probably be more financially if I treated the gym more like a business, I'd probably I'd probably actually make money. But I probably wouldn't be nearly as happy. We have a very I have a very like we form really tight bonds at the gym. Like, I'm not like super egoist, but like, but I make sure that like I've got standards. I make sure the intensity's high, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat things, like especially when like new people come to the gym. I'm very upfront about like what the culture of the gym is, how we operate, like if anything, I'm even more so, because I don't want you to join. I don't want you to join if like you're not going to feel comfortable there. You're not going to be happy. Like I want you, like if you like, so like I don't want to, like, I'm not going to put on airs. Like I want people that want to be there, people that I want to work with, and people that I want to train with. Like I don't want it to be like, because once you start, like, if you're not like enjoying who you're working with, then it becomes way more of a job. When like when you really care about, like, the people that you work, when you care about your fighters, like it's not a job. It's like, when it's like, you're not just training, you're hanging out, like, you're working hard and you're beating the crap out of each other, but you're hanging out and beating the crap out of your friends.
Right.
You beat the crap out of your family. It's different.
What does a perfect day off look like? No fighting, no training, no coaching, just a day to do whatever you want outside of fighting.
I'll let you know when I see it. Like,
I don't know yet.
Most of the time I'm in there like 7 days a week, or I'm like this past month, every weekend I've had something going on. Like, I was in Sturgis the second. I had something the weekend before that. Then I had my Marine reunion in Georgia, and then like this next weekend, or this weekend, I've got a tournament to coach at. Next week I'm going to Texas to coach. Then the weekend after that, I've got one of my guys fighting for a title, another guy making his MMA debut. Like, I'll let you know. Like,
no days off.
I'll let you know when I see it. Like,
Rednecks in Arkansas hitting you up for interviews.
At a little time, I get bored and want trying to do something.
Gotcha.
But although, like, I'd say, chilling with my girl, riding my motorcycle.
Okay.
Yeah, just something late, like something laid back.
Chill.
Sleeping in.
Yeah.
Some anime, and then maybe going out and, like, going out for some food. And, like, I'm a big foodie, even though I'm always on a diet.
Right. I am as well, and I'm never on a diet unless I'm sleeping. I've been in barbecue for almost 30 years, so it's really hard to work around smoked meat all day and not eat. This next section of questions are designed to hopefully make you more relatable to the viewers. Some of them are kind of goofy. Some of them I hope you have to think about. Some of them you're probably just going to laugh at me and say that's a stupid question. So here we go. Rock Hill Cookout, pulled pork or brisket?
I love me some pulled pork.
Okay, yeah, there we go. I go through about 300 pounds a day. Yeah,
Right.
Pulled pork, I could eat it all day.
That's a tough one, but love me some pulled pork.
Okay. When it comes to road work, do you prefer sunrise or late night?
I'm not a morning guy. I'm not
Okay.
Half the time I don't get out of the gym until like 10:30, 10:30 now, sometimes 11 o'clock, and then like I need to relax, eat, shower. Like I don't go to bed until late, and I hate mornings. Like, after I get out of my fuck waking up like that.
You put in your time.
Waking up when it's still dark out.
All right. Both in their prime, who wins, Ali or Tyson?
It's a big stylistic matchup, but
Probably the best ever. You can argue both sides easily.
I'd have to say Tyson though. Like Tyson was, he's like just such a massive puncher.
Mm-hmm.
He was good at getting inside on those longer guys. Like he fought some like huge guys.
Mm-hmm.
Ali's speed on the outside would be trouble, but I don't know, a more scary individual and like more power puncher than Tyson.
Gotcha. Okay. Do you prefer coffee or energy drinks?
Definitely energy drinks and green tea.
Okay,
Kind of
there we go.
brewed green tea.
What's your favorite can? Who do you like?
Gotta go with the BKFC sponsor, Bucked Up.
Bucked Up. The Blood Raz is amazing.
That Blood Raz is good.
Yeah. All right. Led Zeppelin or Metallica?
Metallica.
There we go. In 1997, I had an opportunity for my senior trip to go to Mexico City to see White Zombie and Metallica, and my parents wouldn't let me go, and I'm still mad about it.
Yeah,
but they probably saved my life.
Probably, I could have been traffic.
17, redneck, yeah. Mexico City.
Yeah.
All right. Again, in their prime, who wins, GSP or Anderson Silva?
I'm gonna go GSP.
Okay.
Yeah. He's so well rounded. Definitely like high in the GOAT conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he had the wrestling. Look what Chael did for 4 minutes and 30 seconds. 4 rounds and
GSP wouldn't
4
have made
minutes
that mistake.
And 30 seconds. GSP wouldn't have gotten caught in that.
Yep, I agree. Favorite animal at the zoo?
I gotta go with the primates.
There we go.
Yeah, you never
so
know.
Many people pick primate.
Like, well, you never know what they're gonna do. Like, they're they're either gonna start banging in front of children or
they're the most interactive exhibits.
Flinging poop, like yeah. Like you're gonna get a good story out of it.
Maybe some forced. Well, never mind.
Consensual.
Yeah, there we go. Let's see here. What bothers you worse, being misunderstood or underestimated?
I would say misunderstood.
Okay.
I think I'm pretty used to being underestimated. Like that more drives you. Being misunderstood, it's kind of like people are almost putting words into your mouth, and that's always frustrating.
Yeah. The next question, I have to ask a question before I get to this question, if that makes any sense. Do you have children?
No.
No? Okay, then I'm not going to ask you about Legos. It won't make sense. In your bathroom at home, your toilet paper roll, over or under on the paper?
Here's the thing. I'm one of the few people that does not have a preference.
Don't care as long as it's there.
I do not care as long as I've got TP to wipe my butt. Draws my girl like crazy. Like, yeah. I'm the only thing in life I'm really OCD about is stuff at the gym.
Okay. Awesome. Let's see here. Would you rather win the belt again or be the best coach in BKFC?
Oof, that is a tough one.
You or them?
I would have to say them. Like, I've done it. Like, I'd love to see, somebody else, like like I said, like I always get more joy out of watching them succeed
Mm-hmm.
than I usually do myself. But
You felt the moment it's their turn.
yeah,
That's awesome. That's why you're a great coach.
When they get there, I can hold on to it for them.
There you go. That's half mine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's the best Rocky movie?
Ooh, Rocky 4.
There we go. Ivan Drago.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Similar question to that. Better movie, Bloodsport or Kickboxer?
Bloodsport.
Absolutely. Does pineapple belong on pizza?
Hell no.
No.
Some
never.
little Italian dude would slap you in the face if you tried to pull that shit in New York.
It's so gross.
No, like it's not even pizza then.
Have you ever had an opportunity to reminisce about growing up in New York with Tony Soto?
Absolutely, like that's what we do half the time. Like
Okay.
when we're training together.
I would love to hear that, man. Sometime. I bet that's great.
On like road trips and stuck out in Spain and.
Yeah. All right. You are going to go commit a bank robbery, and you need to take 2 people with you: a getaway driver and a gunman. Who are you taking? Hypothetical, not a real robbery.
Like,
allegedly.
Don't. I will plot some stuff. Like one, like I've got to take Tony. Like but yeah, he's crazy. He's crazy enough to do it. Although like afterwards, I might have to pop him because I'm not sure if he can fucking keep his mouth shut.
Yep.
And then who else would I have? Like he'd probably be the other gunman. Getaway driver. Either Frankie or Brian Battle.
Okay.
Frankie's one of the guys. Team, like he has a he like does like drifting, tunes up cars. Him and Brian Battle are always going to the go-kart track and stuff like that.
That's great.
So they make excellent getaway drivers.
All right. For anyone who's watching this show today who may be feeling broken or like they're at their personal rock bottom, what message would you like to share with them about not giving up?
There's a thing like great. There's one great and comforting thing about being at rock bottom. There's nowhere to go but up.
Mm-hmm.
It's whatever you survived, like, you've already survived. So you're stronger from it. If you don't stop, like things will get easier, things will progress, things will get better.
Mm-hmm.
Really the only thing that stops it is quitting.
Yep.
Like that's the only thing that will stop progress. That will only thing that will stop you from moving forward. Especially when you feel alone, like there's always somebody out there that you can talk to. There's always sometimes that help comes in the form of a stranger, but there's always there's always a way out. Like, you just gotta start working the problem and stop focusing on, start working on the solution, stop focusing on the problem. And that's where most people get caught up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're like, this happened. All right, well, it happened. It's done.
Mm-hmm.
If there's something that you can do about it, start doing it. Mm-hmm. If there's not something that you can do about it, guess what? There's nothing you can do about it. Stop fucking worrying about it and start doing something better.
Yeah. That's great. I love that. All right. What is the best way for fans and friends of yours to keep up with you these days?
Yeah, I guess social media, Instagram, Rockstar MMA, K Rockstar MMA, one of those. Uh, on Instagram, decent amount. Facebook less, Snapchat less.
Stop by Modern Warrior MMA and say hi.
Stop by Modern Warrior MMA in Rock Hill, South Carolina, 774 Corporate Boulevard. Yeah, you're in the Charlotte, Rock Hill area. We have one of the best Sunday open mats around. You get to train with some of the best Carolina killers.
Absolutely. It kind of looks like your picture froze. Do I look okay on your end?
Looks like you froze too. Like it looks, or maybe I'm just doing that.
Are my hands moving?
Nope, I'm not moving either.
Uh-oh. Well, I hate to shut it down just to do another one for the last question, so I'll go ahead and ask. Is there anybody you want to shout out or say hi to or get a message to before we hop off here?
Yeah, really just all the people at Modern Warrior MMA. They're definitely like some of my great family. And then my mom, my dad, my brother, my actual family. They've been amazing. I wouldn't be who I am without them. So
Gotcha.
definitely got to give them some love, and that's about it right now.
All right. Keith, I want to say thank you so much for giving your time to the channel, the most not popular, important commodity on planet Earth, the thing that we can never get back. Thank you so much. I'll upload this to YouTube. It takes about an hour to upload, and I'll send you the first copy. If you want to watch it, critique it, don't like it for any reason, let me know, and I'll take it down.
That sounds good. I appreciate it, brother.
Thank you very much, and I bet I see you on the road one of these days.
Absolutely.
All right. Have a great rest of your day, sir.
You too.
Bye-bye.